forget homosexuality, there was very little conversation about sexuality per se. And at that time, in early 80s, to come and speak and come out with a book on homosexuality is historic. This book came at a time when there weren't even whispers about homosexuality. In the sense, people didn't speak about it at all. I remember I was around in my teens in the 90s, and around that time also, the conversations on homosexuality were very hush hush. So one of the protagonists, one of the two main stories is of this man from Bangalore. He's a top executive and he has got married a year before. And he has sex, he's got married to a woman, and he has sex with men on the side. And he has these many affairs with rickshaw drivers and people of another class altogether, and the class divide is very clearly seen over there. Probably because one assumes that if you are dating someone from your own class, then the chances of you getting exposed is much more. And you can have affairs on the side. Is that around that time it was way too common that people were married and they used to have affairs on the side. The second one is somebody from Pune, and his name that she has given the person is Shashi. Now this person speaks about homosexuality in general as well, where he actually says that the homosexuality is the design of nature, where the world is getting so overpopulated, and so it is, and there is a huge pressure on Bhuma Devi, which is Mother Earth, and that's why God has designed homosexuals. There are some interesting excerpts from the book that I have that I was reading. And it is so progressive because it came in the late 70s, the early 80s. It's so progressive. I'm sure that if Shakuntala Devi was alive today, she would have been really happy. In fact, she would have filed a petition against Section 377 herself. Let me read out. The conception of homosexuality as a condition and the behavior it supports merely operates as a form of social control in a society in which homosexuality is condemned. Wow. Shakuntala Devi says, on this level, nothing less than full and complete acceptance will serve. Not tolerance and not sympathy. As an activist in 2020, when I look at this book, I will have to say that it has this whole victimized version of gay men. When I look at it from a very feminist angle, I feel that it basically says कि ये मर्द करेंगे क्या, मतलब बेचारे, वो तो शादी करना ही है उनको. But I should also confess that if I was 15 years before, when I was actually coming out, 20 years before, if I tuned back, then probably my reaction to this book would have been very different. It's an informative book. It is a very sympathetic book towards homosexuals, but it is a book without judgments. It's a book about facts. It is a book that is empathetic towards homosexuals and looks at it from that angle. So it has a patriarchal undertone to it if I look at it from today. But if I look at it from the days that it was written, I would say that it's quite it's quite astonishing that someone could write about it at that time.